LTTV, Blunt Talk with LT, back at it with another video. Okay, so this is getting sticky for Travis Scott. So he might be getting charged now. Him and Drake have been sued. Live Nation has also been sued. We have a reaction here. There's a bunch of details. We have a lawyer's statement, witness testimony, or attendee testimony. Let's get into it. There's a lot here.
You know, I had the backup dancers. I ain't got the drummers and that.
No.
I'm all about the blood. You know, we got to turn up.
The
blood.
blood.
It's all about rage and just like the.
Who's bleeding on stage?
I mean, you know, I'm not bleeding, but the fans are like
I feel you.
giving their bodies.
That's okay, we see real quick.
Now, he's getting a lot of flack for performing on stage and not stopping the performance while everything's ensuing. All the people are being harmed. The deaths are happening. He doesn't know about everything at the specific moments. He stopped at one point. We're gonna see it in the footage here. He stops at one point to try to help, but for the most part, it was negligent on everybody's behalf, especially Live Nation. The place was understaffed. They didn't have enough supplies, enough water, enough security. It was just a whole mess. Let's get back into this. Let me restart this. This shit is slow as fuck.
You know, I had the backup dancers. I ain't got the drummers and that.
No.
I'm all about the blood. You know, we got to turn up.
The
you know,
blood.
It's all about rage and just like the.
Who's bleeding on stage?
I mean, you know, I'm not bleeding, but the fans are like
I feel you.
giving their bodies.
That's okay, we see real quick. Take me, let's do it.
Eight people died during a crowd surge at the Astroworld Festival in Houston on Friday night. Two of those victims were teenagers.
So negligence is defined as, a reasonable, prudent person under the same and or similar circumstances.
Now, this is a California attorney who spoke on the matter on another YouTuber's channel and spoke on the reason why there can be pending charges against Travis Scott and why he may be accountable here. So let's get into it.
Would they do this? This particular case is actually going to wind up being gross negligence, meaning that there was a reckless or wanton disregard for human safety. 1,000% it'll play into this case. So Travis Scott historically has had a reputation for having people rage or, really pushing this aggressive kind of party atmosphere. But that in tandem with the fact that he's been arrested in several instances for inciting riots at concerts for that same type of behavior over the course of the last several years, including a similar incident in 2019.
In 2007.
Now, what we're seeing here is a lot of his past history being used against him in this specific case. We're going to see the apology in this video. We're going to see a bunch of things in this video. But your past history, your reputation does mean something and does play an account to these situations when it comes to the way you handle crowds and the way you handle your audience. We're going to see a video from A$AP Rocky and others and how they do it, or how they have handled themselves in similar situations. But let's get into it.
Scott encouraged a concert goer at his Terminal 5 show in New York City to jump off a second floor balcony, remarking, "I see you, but are you going to do it?" At that same show, fan Kyle Green was paralyzed after being pushed off a third floor balcony, Rolling Stone reported.
Now I know it might be harsh because there's real raging back there in that pit. And you might be getting squished. But if you're a rager, you don't let them squish you. You make room.
So the way to prove it is you actually just prove,
Now we're going to see a lot of these videos pop up from Travis Scott past festivals and past concerts of just negligence. But a lot has to be put on Live Nation. I'm not letting Live Nation squeak past on this. They're a large company, a large production. They handle a lot of these productions and festivals. They should be able to have the requisite staff and security and medical. There's 50,000 people in the crowd. during these times.
Was what they did, reasonable? Would a smart person do it? And then you have to prove two more elements: proximate cause and actual cause of the injuries that occurred. And that, in this case, seems to be a pretty easy argument.
Stop the show! 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 Stop the show!
That's okay with you real quick.
All right, so in that first clip, we don't know how far they were from the stage. We don't know if Travis Scott can hear them, but we also see this clip of this lady climbing on the stage, trying to alert him that people are dying out there and they need to stop the show. And the show continued. I don't know where Drake is involved in this lawsuit because he's a feature act in this performance, so I don't understand that. Let's get back into it.
We've seen that video at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when fans charge over the security line, crushing magnetometers and getting through into the venue. At 1 o'clock, things look disorderly.
You see people rushing to get out of the venue, people getting trampled all over because people are rushing.
I got in the crowd. We was probably like in the middle of the crowd, but we was way in the front.
These cases are rough because there's 50,000 people, understaffed. People are running over each other. You bought your ticket. You knew the venue size. You knew there could be 50,000 people in the times of the pandemic. There was rumors that someone was running around pricking people with a syringe. So there's also that. Let's get into this testimony. Let me pull this back a little bit. See, these people just getting trampled over. They're doing it to themselves, just in panic.
I got in the crowd. We was probably like in the middle of the crowd, but we was way in the front. And as everything was happening, I just feel like I was being crushed and like I couldn't breathe, and I almost like literally passed out. Like I felt like I was about to like collapse. So I started screaming, and like it just felt like we was like literally like in hell, bro. Like it felt like we was in a concert in hell. You couldn't breathe, you couldn't see. Like just imagine all the people they're gonna find tonight who was in that crowd, who nobody could see, who nobody could hear, who passed out, and everybody was just trampling on top of them the whole concert. Like I'm thinking it's probably gonna be like at least 100 people who dead tonight. Like in the VIP section, it was so many bodies laid out. People was getting pulled out.
When he's talking, okay, so 300 people got injured. 300 people were hospitalized, I should say. More people got injured than were hospitalized. There's some people in the hospital to this day. 8 people dead. It got wild up in there. Let's get back to it.
Who was fainted, and the medics were trying to give them CPR, and they was flipping them over, and like they was literally turning them black and blue. Like I never seen death in my life, bro. Just by me alone, it was probably like 10 people laid out dead. And like once the medics tried to help them, they wasn't responding. They moved to the next person.
So the most likely outcome is that you fight for it. They're going to pay for a certain degree of physical actual damages, but there are all sorts of repercussions that happen as a natural consequence of the injury that someone could be held liable for. In reality, these things are really insured for by insurance companies, and the insurer will be involved most definitely. But this could change the way, frankly, musicians and the concert industry advertise and, frankly, structure their security for concerts. So it's not actually because they're looking for $1 million in damages. In Texas, the way the civil rules of civil procedure are structured.
Okay, so these are clips of an interview. They're being sued for $1 million, but he's going to explain why it's more than $1 million in the lawsuit. Drake, Live Nation, and Travis Scott are being sued. They're saying that Travis Scott can possibly be facing charges because of his past history of inciting violence. That's what they're saying. He incited violence. I don't think that he should be facing jail time. I think this was a mess. This was negligence. I think that Live Nation needs to be held equally accountable. I think even more so accountable. Understaffed, underserved, undersecured.
You actually have to say it's going to be $1 million or over to get more than $1 million in the way you plead the claim. So really they're saying they want more than $1 million.
We know that he had seen people in the crowd in medical distress. He had halted the show a couple times to direct ambulances over there. What we do know, according to police, is at about 9:38 p.m., half an hour after Scott took the stage, that's when the Houston Fire Department declared a mass casualty event. That is when police say they told the promoter, Live Nation, what was going on. And at that
Let me pull that back.
hour after Scott took the stage, that's when the Houston Fire Department declared a mass casualty event. That is
A mass casualty event. And who did they get in contact with? Live Nation. Who is most accountable here? Live Nation. Understaffed. Even if Travis had stopped the concert, at that point, people have already died. People have already been trampled. Someone was allegedly poked by a syringe. At that point. This whole event was negligence. But who's most responsible for this? I would say Live Nation. So charges against Travis Scott, he's going to refund all the tickets. He was completely negligent here, as he was in past concerts. But we can't escape Live Nation here. And all the smoke is coming for Travis Scott, but we can't escape. Live Nation can't escape this either.
when police say they told the promoter, Live Nation, what was going on. And at that point, Live Nation agreed to cut the show early. Scott played for another 37 more minutes after that danger was known to the promoters.
The legal process for this is somebody filed.
Okay, so that's a problem. I didn't hear that the first time. That's a problem. So the promoters wanted to stop the show early. Live Nation wanted to stop their show early, but Travis Scott continued to play. That's bad. He refunded the tickets, but that doesn't change the fact that people lost their lives. Let's get back to it.
Claim based on evidence that they have. Obviously, there's been a lot of stuff in the news, and that evidence is represented in every single one of the claims that's out there. But the person that the claims were filed against, or in this case, these several companies and individuals, will have a certain period of time in the state of Texas to respond, file their answer to it. Then it goes into a period of discovery where they're going to go into finding out as many facts as they can, which is also one of the reasons why you'll notice that they have things like requirements that people don't destroy evidence, and they're trying to get temporary injunctions. They're trying to preserve the body of evidence that they can use against Travis Scott and all the other event goers here that put on the concert, so that they can use that against them in court without them destroying that evidence prior to them getting there. This will be a very prolongated litigation set of circumstances. There'll be insurance companies involved. There'll be all sorts of different attorneys, and it will take probably the greater portion of a couple of years to resolve.
Okay. Oh, shit.
This is definitely going to change the way people have large festivals in these venues. Can't be understaffed and underserved and expect the artists to bridge the gap. It can't work that way. This is A$AP Rocky on stage. We're gonna look into a couple of artists and their performance and how they handled certain situations or similar situations. A$AP Rocky. We also have Playboy Cardi. Let's get into it.
Help this person right here, please. Yo, sis, you alright? You okay, sweetheart? Oh, shit. Damn. Yo, can y'all help right there, bro? Can we get paramedics over there? What the fuck?
They're telling me there's a lot of people passing out. They keep stopping my music because people are passing out. I care about you guys' safety first. Everybody take 3 steps back and we can start the music right away. They're not trying to let me keep performing. 3 steps back. I'm sorry.
Come back for a second. We gotta do this properly. 30 seconds, bro.
Yo, I need everybody to step back. 3 steps back.
I just want to send out prayers to the...
Okay, so in those videos, you see that there was efforts, and a lot of these compilations that we're seeing, we don't see the effort that, because there's a video. I'm pretty sure that I have a video. There's one video that I saved of Travis Scott actually stopping the concert for a second and trying to attend to people, but it was not enough. Definitely not enough. If I seen Astroworld tickets promotion, I'm not going to that shit. But if I seen that shit, I'm seeing 50,000 people during these times. Miss me with that. That's too much people, too many people in one location. in these times. I'm not victim shaming here at all, but geez, you got to avoid those type of things. Live Nation could have definitely done a better job, though. It could not have been just on Travis. This is his apology. A lot of people are shitting all over this apology. Let's listen to this.
To the ones that was lost last night, we're actually working right now to identify the families so we can help assist them through this tough time. You know, my fans really mean the world to me, and I always just really want to leave them with a positive experience. And anytime I can make out, you know, anything that's going on, I stop the show and, you know, help them get the help they need, you know.
All right, so he stopped it once, but at the end of the day, I kind of have been letting him off the hook here and putting a lot on Live Nation. He does incite his fans to get hype, get wild, the mosh pit shit. We've seen it. There's clips in this compilation of it.
Just never imagined the severity of the situation. We've been working closely with everyone to just try to get to the bottom of this. The City of Houston, HPD, Fire Department, you know, everyone to, you know, help us figure this out. So if you have any information, you know, please just contact your local authorities. Everybody continue to just keep your prayers. I mean, I'm honestly just devastated, and I could never imagine anything like this just happening. And I'm gonna do everything I can to keep you guys updated and just keep you guys informed on what's going on. Love you all.
Y'all were in there, bro. Shut the fuck up. Exactly right. Y'all weren't in there. People are fucking dying. I want to save somebody's life. That's somebody's kid.
Two hands to the sky.
I want to save them.
Two hands to the sky. Two hands up, y'all. Two hands up. Y'all know what y'all came to do. Chase me. Let's go. I want to make this motherfucker.
I ain't cool with none of you faggots who just sitting here looking like a bunch of quitters. You wearing a fucking LaFlame shirt, motherfucker, then you better act like it, bitch. I'm gonna rip it off your fucking back.
Now, we're seeing a bunch of those videos pop up. Travis Scott concerts pop up. A lot of these people, a lot of TikTokers, a lot of people on Twitter pulling up these videos, using it against them in this case because they're not having the conduct at the concerts. When you really think about it, though, we have OVO every damn year. Crowds massive. Shit like this don't happen. Veld, all these massive festivals. Coachella. Well, shit happened at Coachella. Shit happens. But I guess there is a bit of a culture set around his type of concerts where it comes to just acting wild and doing the most. I don't see where Drake gets charged in this or Drake gets sued in this. I don't see why Drake is responsible for any of this. He's a feature in the concert. He came out, performed a few songs. I'm not sure at what point in which Drake was performing in relation to when the things actually happened and people actually passed. I don't know that and why he's involved in that suit, but I don't see a reason for Drake to be getting sued right now. Travis Scott, he refunded all the tickets, still getting sued. It's likely to turn into a class action and be dragged out over years, as we heard the lawyer speak on. This is a sensitive matter, so I'm being very choice with my words here. Not going to give too much opinion, just kind of give the news on this matter. Probably give my opinion more in Blunt Talk with LT episode 148 coming around the corner. But, yikes. Hopefully Travis Scott doesn't get charged. I don't think he ever meant for this type of shit to happen. And you could see that he's clearly has some sort of contrition. Although people were shitting all over that apology, I'm sure he didn't want that type of shit to happen. Nobody wants people to die at their concerts. I'm gonna wrap it up though. We're gonna be back later tonight. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I was gonna turn this into a call-in show. We don't seem like we have much of an audience for that. Maybe next time. Yeah.